fight for everything. Getting first place in the first game is absolutely enormous.
And the LeBlanc is still alive. She has found the Yasuo, but he has found her back. The damage is just going out, and it will be an end for Tech Summers and Binteum from Korea taking the first place at the beginning of the day here. That has to be a great feeling.
In this video, we'll witness impressive gameplay by a Korean player named Binteum. It's day 3 of the Monsters Attack Championship finale, round 1. He was the only player to qualify for finals from his server. He was placed in 5th position out of 32 other competitors. Binteum secures first place without relying on any specific compositions. He utilizes a combination of synergies such as Spellslinger, Threats, Heart, Star Guardian, Brawler, and Admin. So let's talk about his early game. During the early game, Binteum chose Aim Assist in the first Augment round, which allows the LeBlanc to fire an additional sigil at the lowest health enemy after every 3 sigils from the ability. He already had Blitzcrank in the board, thus adding the LeBlanc activates the Admin trait. The Admin effect, which he picked, gives his team 20 permanent maximum health when the combat starts. One more opponent also picked the LeBlanc hero augment, so he must try to max out it earlier. He gave the Archangel Staff as the first item for LeBlanc, which grants 20 bonus ability power to the unit when the combat starts and additional 10 ability power for every 5 seconds. And he also activates the Brawler trait by adding a Renekton along with a Morgana in his initial round. In the 2-1 round, opponent had LeBlanc's Mirror Image Augment, which made one of the champions to duplicate itself. And Binteum had to fight with only 4 champions against the opponent's 5 champions. Opponent also has equipped his Fiora with a Sunfire Cape, which grants 250 bonus health and does true damage to the target, reducing its healing. So this resulted in Binteum losing this round.
Could go further into the admins, go more for a Warwick-centered comp, or you could go into those Spellslingers.
I feel a lot of people felt pressure to go for 3-cost hero augment because 3-cost hero augments are a bit stronger than a 2-cost hero augment in general. But sometimes, if you're just not really offered a good angle, a good deck that's like not contested, then it could actually be a trap. So we'll see exactly how these players solve it out. We have the two against each other. We can see Binteum has already gone through and slammed the Archangels, but doesn't win the round anyway. So an interesting start for them, as you said.
In round 2-2, he replaced Renekton with Lee Sin, as it is a higher tier champion compared to Renekton. The opponent had Vex's hero augment, and he also used Archangel Staff to it. Rammus 2-star keeps on stunning Binteum's units, so he lost this round too. In the 2-3 round, he dominated his opponent with the help of LeBlanc and Morgana. He doesn't maintain a winning or losing streak, but instead he maxed out his primary champions by re-rolling to avoid losing more HP early on. In round 2-4, he chose Needlessly Large Rod in the carousel. In the 2-7 round, he bought Nico and Lee Sin from the store. Lee Sin became a 2-star, thus his board got a bit stronger. Still, to strengthen the defense, in level 5 he added Rammus as his 5th champion. He started collecting admin champions on the bench. In the 3-1 round, he again contested against the opponent with LeBlanc's hero augment, who has made his LeBlanc into 2-star. So he again lost this round, mid-game. In level 6, he picked Trade Sector as the second augment that gave 10 golds and offered a free shop refresh every round. During mid-game at level 6, Binteum plays with 2 admins, 2 Spellslingers, 2 Brawlers, and 2 Threats. In 3-2 round, he again faced the opponent with Vex's hero augment with 3 Riftwalkers. Thus, he got 7 champions on the board. He also equipped his Vex with his ideal items, and finally Binteum lost this round because of it. However, this build doesn't dominate the lobby, and his HP is lower compared to other players. He has 59 HP in level 6. He won the 3-3 round, as the opponent had an underground trait active and went for a losing streak. In round 3-4, he chose sparring gloves in the carousel. As he already had a needlessly large rod, he combined them to form a jeweled gauntlet, and gave it to LeBlanc as the second item. Jeweled Gauntlet grants 15 bonus ability power and 15 critical strike chance. He attempts to play 4 admins, but he doesn't like the effect which it gives, so he decided not to use 4 admins. Instead, he played with just 2 admins. In the 3-5 round, for the first time he faced Tech Summers in the game. The opponent played Duelist comp with Yasuo's Winds of Wanderer Augment, which lets its spell to strike in a line across the entire board with increased damage. He also equipped Yasuo with perfect items. Thus, Binteum lost this round. He continuously kept on losing, and to strengthen his board, he equipped Nico with Ginsu's Rage Blade, Static Shiv Moralanomicon, although this wasn't the ideal item for her. In round 4-1 for the third time, he faced the opponent with LeBlanc's Augment. And this time, because of not having many defensive items, he lost this round. The opponent's Belveth, with good items, made a severe damage. End game. Binteum chose the component Grab Bag as the third augment and gains 3 random items to strengthen his build. As his health kept on decreasing, he quickly moved to level 7 without maintaining his economy and added Urgot to the board. At level 7, Binteum starts hyper-rolling to max out Rammus and LeBlanc. It's relatively easy to obtain tier 3 champions at this level. In round 4-3, he gave Rammus the Bramble Vest that negates 75's bonus damage from incoming critical strikes. As his board was strong enough this time, he won against the strong Riftwalker comp opponent. In round 4-4, he picked Fiddlesticks with Recurve Bow. In 4-7 round, he equipped Rammus with Zuzrot Portal as the second item. On death of the holder of this item, a Void Spawn arises and it taunts the target units. Finally, he maxed out LeBlanc. He also noticed that most of his opponents were using Zephyri. To counter this, he placed Blitzcrank near LeBlanc to change positions whenever necessary. In round 5-1, he faced a Laser Corp comp opponent having Warwick with perfect items. And he lost for one last time in this game. During that reroll, he got Syndra in the shop, which he swapped with Blitzcrank to activate the Star Guardian trait. In round 5-2, he played against an opponent with 6 Duelist comp who also used Zephyr to counter Nico. But Binteum's main carry, LeBlanc combined with Syndra, won that round. In the meantime, Rammus also got maxed out. Thus, maxing out a main carry and a main tank helps in gaining a winning streak. In the 5-3 round, he competed one last time against the LeBlanc hero Augment opponent.
And it's worth noting, of course, because we haven't seen a ton of this weekend, this is going to be aim assist LeBlanc. So whenever she's casting, if she casts enough times, she will send an extra orb, as you see there, towards the lowest HP unit on the opposing board, which means she does have backline access. If you've got a squishy carry, it's always in danger. Usually the matchup for LeBlanc was slightly unfavored because LeBlanc does have issues getting through the front line, but thankfully the LeBlanc is 3-star and has access to the backline with aim assist, so he does match him in a fight.
The opponent had a Zephyr, but failed to utilize it properly, thus resulting in Binteum winning this round. In round 5-4, he picked Zeke's Herald from the carousel, which grants 20 attack speed to the holder and allies within 1 hex in the same row when the combat starts. He used it on Lee Sin to help LeBlanc. In the 5-6 round, the opponent used Zephyr to counter Rammus, but it made only a minimal impact. Most of the players use Zephyr and Shroud of Stillness to counter the opponents. Binteum used Shroud of Stillness to counter Yasuo in this round, so he won it. After this, he goes on a win streak to dominate the lobby. He also tries to maintain his gold to reach level 8. He equipped Rammus with Warmog's armor as the third item, which grants 500 health. He added Fiddlesticks as the 8th champion. Key moments. In round 6-1, he faces a Riftwalker comp with a 3-star Vex, so he counters it by using Shroud of Stillness, which delays the first cast of affected enemies by 35%. He had 3 threats: Fiddlesticks, Morgana, and Rammus. These champions provided more value by stunning the opponent units. His Syndra also throws in the threats such as Morgana and Urgot from the bench, which also stun the opponent units. In round 6-2, also he utilized the Shroud of Stillness to counter Vayne and Yasuo.
Binteum's in some pretty major trouble because no one can stop that Yasuo. I mean,
what we're gonna see, the LeBlanc is in that backline and she is going to try. Shroud of Stillness did hit, but will it be enough? The Yasuo is still there, does not target the LeBlanc right away. She's onto him. Will she take him down?
Oh!
Does not let her reset and refocuses. Can she do it? Yes, she can. And Tex Summers will get a loss here.
Oh my gosh, the Hextech Gunblade has just paid so many dividends with the...
Thus, he won that round. In round 6-3, he adjusts LeBlanc's position to counter an opponent who also uses Shroud of Stillness. Binteum strategically positions Lee Sin in the back row to counter Zephyr, and Lee Sin has Zeke's Herald, which boosts Syndra and LeBlanc's attack speed.
Both on 10 HP, but are they going to meet the same board? Does not seem like it. Tex Summers on the other side is meeting the Laser Core, whereas Replay is facing Binteum's LeBlanc once more.
Yeah, that LeBlanc is absolutely amazing. Very much reminding me of the surprise of seeing the Camille before in groups, just performing way above expectations, ripping through the border on the right-hand side. We still got a few more pieces left to remove, but LeBlanc has proven to be unstoppable. Replay gets knocked out, Tex Summers stays alive.
In the 6-4 carousel, he picked Thief's Gloves along with Aatrox to give random items to his units. Final showdown. The final game is between Binteum and Tex Summers. Both players have strong builds, but Tex Summers has an 8 duelist perfect comp. Binteum notices that Tex Summers consistently uses Zephyr on opponents' main carries. Tex Summers positioned all champions in the back row to utilize Zephyr and counter LeBlanc. However, Binteum cleverly positions LeBlanc in the second row from the back, which becomes the main reason for his victory in the first round of the World Championship.
Coming back from the previous championship where he failed to make top 8 by a single place. Tex Summers doubting himself through day 2, now makes top 2. This fight for everything, getting first place in the first game, is absolutely enormous.
And the LeBlanc is still alive. She has found the Yasuo, but he has found her back. The damage is just going out, and it will be an end for Tex Summers and Binteum from Korea taking the first place at the beginning of the day here. That has to be a great feeling coming in.
Binteum's proper positioning and analyzing the enemy board is what made him win this game with ease. But Binteum didn't win this championship. He managed only to finish in 4th position. Thanks for watching this video. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Item Swap.